What's up, Internet? Techly's resident American Evan here for the second part of our Call of Duty Advanced Warfare review. Today we're talking about the game's noob tubing, boost jumping multiplayer madness. Join us, won't you? In our single player review, we talked about how the team of developers behind Advanced Warfare beefed up the Call of Duty formula by adding a bunch of cool new stuff. Exosuits, crazy futuristic gadgets, Kevin Spacey. These changes, while present in the multiplayer portion, aren't nearly as gameplay altering, and that's probably a good thing. I mean, don't get me wrong, at the fringes there's tons of new and or changed stuff here, but at the core, this is definitely a Call of Duty multiplayer experience, which I assume is what the vast majority of people playing the game bought it for. Take the character customization. In Advanced Warfare, rewards called supply drops give you new clothing for your character, which can then be worn in your multiplayer matches. The supply drop system also works with guns, occasionally offering you pieces with modified stats or built-on attachments or both. That second point is particularly important here since the game uses a Black Ops style point pool for class customization. Not burning an extra point on a scope because you found a gun with one built on could mean an extra perk or the ability to add an extra grenade, or you get the point. On the topic of grenades, the way they're handled in Advanced Warfare represents perhaps my biggest gripe with the multiplayer overall. Unlike previous titles which have you chuck nades like you would a baseball, this one uses a wrist-mounted launcher. While the distinction sounds small in theory, it's big in practice. Figuring out the geometry of a shot is totally different from previous titles, making inadvertent explosions and team kills, at least if you play hardcore, a common thing, especially in the beginning. I was also disappointed in the lack of dedicated lethal and tactical grenade slots. You can fill the game's standalone slot with either explosive options like frags and proximity mines or useful nades like stuns and smoke, but without some wildcard/perk trickery, you can't carry both. While the awesome variable grenade, which lets you pick between 3 tactical settings, does mitigate some of the annoyance, I don't like having to burn a bunch of my point pool in order to carry a full suite of explosive goodies. Advanced Warfare implements several of the exosuit abilities found in the single-player campaign, though they're largely watered down in the name of balance. Maybe too watered down. Abilities like the cloak are pretty worthless since you can still see the person wearing it most of the time, and the extra life added by the exostim amounts to maybe 1 bullet's worth of damage. Fortunately, a handful of wildcards allow you to change what gadgets and perks you carry in your exo slots, and you can always choose to ignore them altogether to make more room for weapon attachments or extra perks or something like that. One unchanged exo feature from the single-player campaign is the boost jumping. Double jumping and jet dodging are neat additions to the series to be sure, but not the game changers Activision and company made them out to be pre-release. The game also includes a new multiplayer mode, Uplink, which works like a combination of rugby, US rules football, and basketball. Beyond that, it's pretty much the standard stuff: deathmatch, CTF, hardpoint, and so on. As with its single-player portion, the multiplayer leg of Advanced Warfare is unmistakably Call of Duty flavored. I say that this is a good thing. When you're dealing with a franchise that makes more money than the GDP of some small countries, switching too many things around means you're going to piss a lot of people off. If you bought into the hype, and more importantly if you bought into Activision's promises of a vastly revamped multiplayer system, you might be disappointed. If you just want more shooting, perk equipping, gun upgrading action on the other hand, you're totally legit here. In the end, like I said, this is another Call of Duty game. If you plunk down your money not knowing what you're getting, it's only because you haven't played it before. This is Evan Wade with Techly, and this has been our Call of Duty Advanced Warfare review. Stay frosty out there.